Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bucs UK podcast. It's episode 50. I'm Alex, your host for this one. I'm joined by two of our regulars. We've got Phil and Adam, and we also have Rugby Union player, Saracens player, Alex Goode with us as well. Alex, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hi guys, I am very well. Yes, doing well. Obviously, not filming this one in Japan, so back in the UK in London. A bit more sociable timings, but yeah, very well, very well. And everyone else?
All doing very well here as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
how
good.
did it go? How did the remainder of your time in Japan go before returning back to the UK?
Safe to say it was a wonderful trip. Very interesting. Some highs, some lows. We got a win out there as well. My team finally, the Green Rockets, which was nice. Yeah, just a fascinating place to be, really. And full of nakedness is what I'd say. The Japanese love being naked, so it's probably a good time to get out of there.
Yeah, we're definitely not like that here back home, are we? that we can say, definitely.
No, they are extremely comfortable being naked comparatively to us Brits, I would say. Yes, more in their culture, maybe.
Well, we won't go into too much into that, I don't think. But brilliant. But we will go in and have a look at the Buccaneers game against the Saints. I'm glad we've got some form of structure to these episodes, gents, because if we were just having a general chat here, I really wouldn't know where to begin. Phil, let's start off with you. Just give us your overall thoughts and summaries of that game.
I just thought it was a complete sloppy loss. I think, Alex, last time you were on our podcast, you said how hard it was once you'd actually reached the pinnacle of winning a championship to actually repeat it again. For you get complacent and just things just are generally sloppy. But I just thought I was a totally and utterly sloppy loss. Some of the penalties were sloppy, some of the play was sloppy. And let's be quite honest, we should have won it. Like we said earlier, we were a field goal away. But I'll be quite honest. As I said, I'm not a nice person to be around next day after we've lost. Really, I'm not. But I wasn't too bothered because I just felt that coming into the bye week, we needed a kick up the backside. We needed just to take stock. And also, I'm also not a... And I think it was if you're going to lose a game, it was the perfect time to lose a game. We really needed to take stock of ourselves and look where we're going. We were just too complacent all around.
Adam, how is it for you? As Phil says, he uses the word complacent, sloppy. Would you agree with those comments?
Oh, well, defensive side of the ball, definitely. I know, apart from Brady's last couple of stupid throws, those last two with a pick to end the game, I thought the offense played all right. You put up 27 points. Usually, you're going to win the game. But oh my God. As you can see, I'm dressed up for it. These officials, I know we played sloppy, but they don't make the game sloppy as well. Nobody knows what they're doing. Like nobody can make the same decision. There needs to be more clarity in these decisions because they're spoiling games. I believe if the refs don't make some of those calls, the Saints don't win that game. We win the game. So I don't know. It's a touchy subject for me right now. Impartial referee gear.
Yeah, I understand where you're going. I think both points are really, really valid to me. I think, Phil, what you said was my only fear for the Bucs this year. With so much talk about, we've got everyone back together again, and we had a great win against Cowboys, and then went on a bit of a roll. But it's always so much harder to repeat it, and perhaps just having there's just that little bit of hunger. It's just, and you don't see it at first, but it just creeps in certain things. And I thought there were some really key moments in the game where discipline just cost us. It was offside penalty, which the front four never really make, but really obvious ones, and you just allowed them their 3rd and 6, and it's like boom, just releases the pressure valve on a quarterback who we wanted to see him throw the ball a lot, and he just got away with it. There was one where I think it was, I want to say 3rd and 16, and he got done for roughing the passer, and you're like in the first half, and you're thinking, we've got him trapped here.
Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong, the roughing the passer this year has been ridiculous across the league, but for me, it's been relatively consistent. It seems to be if you pretty much touch the quarterback, then anything after the ball is gone.
Even if your helmet gets ripped off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that was sloppy. But I think the big thing for me was is still the defence. I know when we went on that playoff run last year, the defence was so key, and it just keeps coming back to it. There's a lot of points being leaked, and we talk about the secondary being inexperienced and struggling, and that maybe the front four aren't getting enough pressure. But whatever it is, too many times, good quarterbacks, average quarterbacks are just somehow managed to throw long balls, and it's too easy. And that's something that has to stop, because Brady is unbelievable. The offense is unbelievable, but there is a limit to how many. They can't always be expected to score 30+ points.
No, we set a record in this game. I don't know if any of you know about it. We set a record for the most blitzes and 0 pressures. We had 22 blitzes and 0 pressures. Wow. And that's a blowout record. That is ridiculous. It seems to me that like Todd Bowles has almost been worked out when he's blitzing. And if we can't get pressure using the blitz, every team can just sail by us. Little dinks and dunks over the top. Every team has done it to us. If we can't get pressure with our, the Saints, they went max protect like 14 times. They had 6 linemen. So it seems to be easy. The defensive coordinators are slowly working us out. I say slowly. They've already worked us out. And if we can't get pressure on those blitzes, and Bowles, he lives and dies with a blitz, doesn't he? So if that's not working, then any team can just waltz past us.
And one thing that I think we'll stick with the defense for now, as we've started talking about it, gents. And one thing I think, Phil, I don't know what you think about this, but I remember while watching the game that, again, I've mentioned it before, Gary's mentioned it before when he's been on the pod, it's all about making a challenge at the point of the catch. We seem to lose that a little bit again, I thought, against the Saints.
Yeah, we did. They really. I was having to look onto my NFL roster with some of these Saints players. Who's that? Where did he find him from? And
Kevin White.
and this lad Dante Harris causes all sorts of problems, and the secondary still, we're still banged up in the secondary, and they're finding us out. They're testing us all the time. But one thing I didn't like as well, while we're on the subject of our defense, was when James was playing, he set off on some runs, and never seen James run like that. There was great gaps for him to run through. I thought, whoa, where's he going? It was so much wrong with that defense. I just don't get it at all. But like I say, it was up. We're sick. But as somebody said to me, you're 6-2. You've got 2 weeks off to fix it. Yeah. If you ever lost, that was a loss at a very good time. There's a lot that wants fixing, but we're 6-2.
The only thing I hope doesn't happen is that the Saints beat the Falcons next week, and they go level with us in the league because they'll have the head-to-head win. So that can sort of sap a bit of the momentum out of us. Whether our players let that happen, I don't know.
Alex, I just want to come back to you. Yeah. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, no, I just want to come back to you quickly. Using your professional sports background here, you mentioned about the discipline earlier, about how that let us down, and you mentioned about that on the offensive side. Look at the defensive side. Do you think that was a bit of an issue as well there?
Yeah, I think so. I think late on, as I said, I think I can't remember who it was, but it was 2 guys offside defensively, trying to put pressure on. We had the roughing the passer. There's just a couple of penalties that were just key moments, and I think that does just you're going into a hostile environment as a group, which can be a huge energy giver. First and foremost, they're going to have the crowd with them. Fine, you're against it, but it's sort of you against the world. It's quite a nice. It can get a really nice atmosphere. Like Tampa got on the runs to the Super Bowl last year, away from home, going to those places. It's just that little group against everyone else around you. And you can really build a buzz inside that. And that's great. But small things can just deflate that too quick. And it comes from frustrations generally. So frustrations when someone doesn't run the right route in offense, or defensively, someone just goes off piste, or you give that penalty away. And just when you feel like you're building, we've got them, we've sacked them, everyone's up, and then poof, you're just deflated. And sadly, that can just take its toll. And then the crowd get behind New Orleans, and it just means that your energy goes from up here to here, and it's hard to regain that momentum. And I just felt there were really big moments in the game where
you're right.
The Tampa Bay could have been, the Bucs could have been on the ascendancy, and the group would have been rallying, and defense would have got the ball back, and then offense would have gone out there and got 3 or 7, whatever it is. And then you keep building and building. And then New Orleans, the crowd dampens down, and they're a bit like, what do we do? But every time we'd go and get a touchdown, it'd just be easy points or mistakes, and just allow them straight back into it. So that was my take, and just what it's like really as an athlete in that environment. It can be great if you get it right, but there's a real tipping point when you're away from home. If little mistakes creep in, or discipline, it deflates you quickly.
Yeah,
you can physically see it happening, can't you? As the game's going, you can physically see those little penalties take their toll on the whole team.
Well, the one that did me was when the Golston pushed the guy in the back. No need for it. He just did it. And taunting penalties drive me insane. They know they're not supposed to do it, but still, that Devin White one, and poor dear, it was so frustrating.
I got to stick up with Golston a little bit. He did have his helmet ripped off his head, and then when he come around, he just saw the quarterback and pushed him. So I know you can't touch the quarterbacks like that, but oh my word, why was a flag for ripping his helmet off his head?
I would say from my side as well, we have to be careful, because I'm on the other side of it. I still think Todd Bowles has been worked out. No, I don't see that. I think teams are just adjusting slightly. They know that our secondary is poor, and so they can't allow pressure to their quarterbacks. So they put 6 in the front line, or they extra protect in that sense. And it's good, smart play. What I will say is, American football, for all the complexities and the technical difficulty of it all, it's still a simple game. And you can see OC and Jason Talk on BBC. If you can pressurize the quarterback, then it makes life 20 times easier for your secondary and everyone else, and you can do what you want. And during our runs to the Super Bowl, the front four were just pressurizing everyone, getting through, and therefore the secondary looked great, the linebackers looked great, everyone looked brilliant. What we're seeing now is teams are adjusting, and our front four aren't getting as much pressure. So quarterbacks have time, and any quarterback in the world given time will pick you off if you give him time. And that's what the Bucs aren't built for that. If they don't get pressure, it's a problem. So Todd Bowles is trying to find ways with his blitzes and all that. And I'm sure they will come good, but ultimately that's the adjustment that needs to happen. If you get pressure, you win. If you don't, it's always going to be a hard day.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm gonna. That leads nicely into another point I just want to have a chat about there, and that is about Tom Brady and the offensive line, if you like. Adam, not Tom Brady's best game in a Bucs jersey, to say the least.
I'm not unhappy with Tom Brady at all in that game. He made 2 stupid throws at the end, and I slightly err on the side of blaming the play calling rather than Tom Brady himself. Maybe the pick was bad, just a bad read. But on the whole, 4 touchdowns. I can't knock the guy. You can't score 4 touchdowns in a game. A game we should have won, and I can't blame Tom Brady. I don't put any of the blame on him.
So you said about the play calling. Do we go back and look at what Byron Leftwich is scheming here? Are we back to that issue again?
Yeah, I don't know. We look so good for 80% of the game, and then in key moments where you just think you've got the right guy. You've got Tom Brady, who's led 1 million game-winning drives, and then just we got a minute 40 just to chip away at the downs, run the clock, and we're going for 30-yard bombs. The first one was a giveaway. The second one was a pick. You're like, oh, goodness me. The first one was a perfect warning of what could have happened.
Yeah, you say that, Adam, but we've done that in the past. How many times this season have we been in the same situation? We've done the same thing and won. I just think that game was just one of those games. I just think
that's exactly right.
I
mean, I do it all the time.
I don't really ever go at Leftwich or Brady or anybody. I just think it was just one of those games that came at the right. It came at the right time.
Could well be.
There's so many pluses on this. I thought Godwin was amazing. It really was amazing. And it was nice to see Tyler Johnson come into because I think he's going to be a great player. Tyler Johnson, he's a great, So there was so many pluses, and and one thing that I said to somebody earlier on, never mind the Bucs getting sloppy. We were sloppy last week in our podcast. We just dismissed them as nothing. But their defense was just on fire.
I think that's really important, Phil. There, I think we're not giving them enough credit. There's a reason why they've only lost 2 games this season, and it's not been their offense in any way.
No,
Kamara's been great, but defense has been brilliant. And should we be shocked that twice last year they made it extremely hard for Brady? He's seen every defense ever, he's seen every blitz ever, and yet he was still finding it hard last year. And it's not a shock that they schemed up well against him again. And look, was it his best game? No, he did still get a lot of touchdowns. He got a lot of yards. We got 27 points. Of course, he'll be disappointed in himself, but it comes back to this: is one, credit to New Orleans, hard place to go and play. Communication's very hard with the noise in offense, and on top of that, you scored 27 points. You've got to look at the defense more so. I think that was
especially against the third string quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we're trying to move on to could we done more in offense, and of course you can say if Gronk's there and AB wasn't playing, was he? I mean, it changes it, of course. But Tom Brady's good enough to play with those other players who are still brilliant players. I just think there were too many points on the board, and it got into a game where the Bucs were chasing. They were 2 scores up, then 1 score up, then 2 scores, then 1 score, then 1 score up. And then we got back into it. And then just to chase one more time in that last bit was just too much, maybe. And that's the problem. You get out in front, your defense pressurizes, they force mistakes, great. You start chasing the game, it's always going to be a problem, no matter how experienced the quarterback is.
Totally agree with that. I just think I just put it down to one of those games. Just one of those games that we needed to take stock on, totally and utterly. They did a good job of sort of nullifying Fournette, which has been one of our key, weapons in the. I think the Saints' defense, which let's face it, is top 5 defense in the NFL, deserves a lot more credit than what we were giving them. So I just thought one of those things.
And credit to them as well. In what I said about the Bucs defense, the Saints front line put so much pressure on the offensive line for the Bucs, which has been so good in giving Brady so much protection. And he was, really out of rhythm in that. He was getting moved around every time he got squeezed. When's the last time you see him actually get hit or the ball knocked out of his hand like that? I just thought their pressure took its toll towards the end.
Yeah.
So let's just move on to the next part now, if we can, gentlemen. So we've got the bye week coming up, which is I think a good time there for the Bucs. Halfway through the season, time to regroup, recover. What, in your opinion, Alex, I'll come to you first. If there's one thing that you'd like to, you've got a magic wand, as we call it in this section of the show. If there's one thing that you'd like to see Bruce Arians work on with the team over the bye week, getting ready for Washington, what would be your number one thing there?
I don't actually think it would be anything technical for me. I think it's a mixture of what Phil mentioned earlier, and then in terms of just get that hunger back. Having the 2 losses now, New Orleans, they're probably going to beat the Falcons. You've got a genuine rival in the division who are going to push you the whole way. We need to start picking our form up because we have to win the division. So first and foremost, I think the mental side of it, that will help in terms of no one's going to rest on the laurels. And then I think secondly, just having some of the experienced people back. So having Gronk back, AB, people who worked with Brady before in the offense side, I just think when the blitz comes, they know just to turn a bit earlier, get open, just to be ready for it so that he doesn't have to try and throw long passes or wait for it to come out of their routes. It's just a quick, right, he's being blitzed, turn around, bang, Gronk's open. AB's done a quick slant. I think that will help the offense a lot. And I just think the hunger, really. All teams in the NFL are well coached. All teams have great schemes, good players. It just comes down sometimes I thought if you look at the difference with the Saints front line and you look at the front line of the Bucs, you wouldn't know. You'd say the Saints were dominant in that sense, and they got on top. And yet, the last year, Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul and stuff have been the two best rushers in the league. And you wouldn't have thought that at the weekend. You would have thought the New Orleans were better. New Orleans were better at that. So I think just to get back to that, of them hunting, getting the pressure on, really fire them up will be the most important thing. And then a couple of injuries coming back will be nice.
Brilliant, love that. Adam, what about
Magic
you?
wand. Well, these damn things are going to be my magic wand. No more stupid flags. I don't want to see any more flags for the most ridiculous, stupid things. They're going to have to go back. I know they look at the tape every single game, but they're going to have to look hard at the tape of themselves and stop these stupid things. Like Ronald Jones just flinching, false start, and then you got Devin White with the stupid tensing over a player. Just cut it out, guys. I know they like Devin White. I don't know if any of you seen his press conference. He's saying, it's who I am. I'm not going to change. Please change. Stop doing the tensing. I know it might be hard, but it's going to cost, like exactly what you said, Alex. It's going to, all those little penalties build up and just sap the energy out of the team. And if your captain, your leader, is giving away those stupid penalties and flags, then it's not a good trait to have running through the rest of your team.
Over 100 yards the Bucs gave up in penalties against the Saints. That's effectively a free touchdown that was given to the Saints. So definitely a big thing I think that the team needs to look at there. Certainly the discipline side. Phil, what about you? Discipline, absolutely. Phil, what about you? Your magic wand.
Well, my magic wand's already here. We've got actually 2 weeks to get over a lot more of injuries. One thing that nobody's mentioned is Levante David, a massive part of our defense. First week back, you've got Gronk, who basically, although he catches the ball, has been an extra lineman on the offensive line. He's going to be he's going to be better. So and you've got some of the secondaries going to start coming back soon. So 2 weeks. Get the injuries out, get the players fitter, get right in for the run, because we're looking at the schedule for the running, and it's a lot easier than what we've just done. So I'm just thinking, get the players back, get the injuries back, and as for Devin White changing, you've got absolutely zero chance.
I know he's not going to change.
Zero chance. It's the way he plays, but he's got his mate back, hasn't he, David? And there'll be a ball hawking all over the field. And as for he'll get done left, right, and centre. But what a great player.
I'm giving it the big one, saying I want him to change and everything.
No, you haven't got a prayer.
You know what I'm like. I'm like,
you haven't got a prayer on that one.
As I said, I'm going to be a bit boring. I'm just going to follow Adam's lead on this. For me, the penalties were massive on Sunday. You can't give over 100 yards of penalties. Yep, you can't do it. We need to sort out the discipline there, absolutely. So you've heard the views of us here on the podcast this evening, but we do, of course, have our members' views as well. Remember, we are a members club. If you're a Buccaneer fan in the UK and you're not one of our members, the link to our website, is down in the description below. Please click on there, have a look, and we'd love to welcome you to this club. So let's hear our members' views now. Okay, let's start off with David. Absolutely beat ourselves tonight. 2 main penalties and awful turnovers. And that is something we have spoken about so far. The penalties and the turnovers, something that we really do need to sort out there. Matty Court, good time for the bye. Let this one hurt for a while and come back like we did last year. Sherman and Gronk clearly dressed when they weren't fit. Need some bodies back healthy. I wonder if Light is tempted to dip into the trade market. That's an interesting one, actually. I want to ask Adam, I see you shaking your head there, because a few people on the forum mentioned about the trade market. I'm not sure about that, personally.
Who are we going to trade? We're not going to trade Rojo. We're not going to trade OJ like the main culprits of the trade talk. So I don't know. I don't know who there is to be. And the trade deadline is today anyway, so nothing's happened.
Yeah, what we're going to pay them with?
Yeah,
We've got
exactly.
actually zero cap room, nothing
And
at all.
We're 6-2 and we're still looking strong. There's no need to panic.
Yeah.
Finally, Neil, as far as I see it, we lost that for 3 reasons: sloppy tackling, penalties, although many of those were questionable, and the standard of refereeing. I will say on our forum, words do get interesting. I do have to make changes to some of the comments that our members made, and the word questionable was not the word Neil used, but I'll leave it at that on this occasion. We're at the part of the show now where we must say thank you to Bucs Report. It is a pleasure to be working alongside them. They do help us promote their podcast, so a big thank you to you guys. Again, if you want to check them out, they are in the description below. If you got this far into the show, you are clearly liking it. So if you haven't pressed that thumb up button below the video, please go and do that, and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Some news for our members: we do have our socials coming up. It is November. We are finally in socials month. We've got our London meetup coming up in a couple of weeks' time for the Washington game. There are some limited tickets still left, so please go ahead and buy your ticket now if you haven't got it. And then at the end of November, we are in Leeds when the Buccaneers face the Colts. Again, there are still plenty of tickets available. We are going to be doing it. If you haven't got your ticket yet, all the details for both socials are on the forum if you want to purchase your tickets. The bye week for the Buccaneers is here, and for week 10, we will be traveling to Washington to face Washington football team. Right, let's get straight into it. Alex, what do you think the keys are to the game for the Buccaneers to beat Washington football team?
Sound repetitive. I think it's getting pressure on the quarterback defensively, regardless of who you've got in the secondary or who's fit again. For me, you put pressure on any quarterback, you'll make them look bad. We did it in the Super Bowl against Mahomes, and some of the lesser known members of the defense were outstanding. So let's get back to the front four in a simple system, putting pressure on, and then Levante David in behind, just sweeping everything up. So that's the key for me. The offense will take care of itself. They'll score points. Brady will find ways to get points on the board. He'll have all his weapons back, hopefully. But for me, just pressure on Heineke. Is it Heineke? How do you pronounce it? Heineke.
Yeah, Heineke.
Yeah. And is there any particular player you think that we need to watch in the game, Alex, as well? Who might be key there too?
I just think from the experience of playing them last year, if we just focus on that defense for the Bucs, I think Heineke is erratic. And if you get him running around, yes, he has some miracle plays, but you will get interceptions. So that's why I focused on the pressure. Really, is if you can put a concerted pressure on him and just keep going again and again and again, he will throw you intercepts, maybe pick six, and it will just allow he'll lose the game for Washington. I feel, as opposed to the Bucs. We just don't want them to give it to Washington. We want to win the game, and that's obviously discipline, being better. No interceptions, not making it easy for them.
I think the defense will probably want to have a big game as well after the Saints game on that one. Phil, what's your keys to the game?
My key to the game is like on the other side of the ball. One mystery for me this season has been the Washington defense. It was lauded last year, and it was one of the best defenses in the NFL. And they haven't showed up this season at all. They really haven't done what they're supposed to do. So just pick them to bit. I think that they will get the backlash from this Saints game, and I honestly think just go and test them, long balls a lot, because their defense is not what it's supposed to be. There's no key. I mean, Chase Young last year I thought was absolutely a monster. Not this year. And there's quite a few players like who haven't shown up this year at all. So yeah, go for them, big style from every facet. I think they're in for a bit of a hiding actually.
Ever since he faced Tom Brady in the playoffs and said he was going to get to him, isn't that what he said last year? Is that what Chase Young said?
Well, yeah, we seem to have broken a lot of teams in that playoff run. Be quite honest. Yeah.
And is there a particular player you think we should keep our eye on against Washington, Bill?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I still go back to Chase Young again because I just think he's a monster. That bloke, he's brilliant. But he's against what's his name, Smith, on our offensive level. I'm still not 100% convinced about, but we'll give him benefit of the doubt. Just keep an eye on that and give Brady time, and the rest of it will all fall into place.
And Adam, what about you? What's your keys to hopefully a Buccaneer victory against Washington?
Oh, it's going to be a Buccaneer win, definitely. But my keys to victory, similar to Alex's, got to get to Heineke. But my actual key is if Todd Bowles is throwing 22 blitzes a game, and it doesn't work the first 10, 15 times, I want to see him change something up. I don't want to see 22 blitzes with 0 pressures. So if he can see that it's not working straight away in the game, change it up. So my key to the game is changing the defense to suit whatever Heineke's giving you, whatever the O-line is doing.
And what about your player to watch as well, Adam?
It's going to be Chase Young. I know Phil said it, but I think he was borderline embarrassed that he didn't have any impact in that game. So I think he's going to be out for some redemption, bit of revenge on the Bucs and the Bucs O-line. So it is Chase Young for me. He's the one to watch.
Fantastic. And let's just round the show off, guys. We've got to get your score predictions as we always do to finish our episodes. Phil, I'm going to put you on the spot first.
I think 38, 21, something like that.
Adam? We're in the 30s again. Oh, yeah. 34, 17.
And Alex, what about you?
That's really scary because I was just about to say exactly the same as you there, Adam.
Great minds think alike, man.
And I literally just worked it out. I was like 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and then for them 2 touchdowns and a field goal. But I'll be different then, and I will say 34. 34-24. And I'll get a late touchdown.
I'm also thinking in the 30s for the Bucs. I think we can go for it. Again, I'll just mix it up to make it a bit more interesting. I'm gonna go 31-10 to the Bucs. I want our defense to have a big showing. I think they're gonna want it. I'm gonna pick sixes. I'm hoping for pick sixes. So I'm gonna back our defense against Washington.
See, I think Fournette's gonna have a big game.
Yeah,
it'd be good to see Fournette have a big game, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be nice to see all our running backs really get involved a bit more. It's good to see Rojo get involved as well a bit more on Sunday. So gone, Phil.
I was going to say, yeah, I think that Rojo was another one that I thought didn't do too bad on Sunday as well. Considering what was going off, there's loads to going to happen from the Bucs this year.
The offense is still amazing. We are still the best offense in the league. I haven't got a single worry about the offense. It's just the defense, and again, the defense is, with the injuries they've got, they're still playing well, but we just seem to leak the stupid little points and the stupid little plays and the penalties all in the worst times of the game.
Mind you, if you'd asked me on week 1, would you take 6 and 2 in the bye week? And I said, yep, I'll take 100%. That one all day long.
Oh, yes. Yep, but also a really good thing to think about as well. Hopefully after the bye, we should have some players back a bit more healthy as well. So getting back to strength, which is fantastic to see. So that does bring us to the end of this episode. Phil, Adam, thank you for joining me again. Pleasure to have you. Alex, it was great for you to come back on the show. Thanks, as Alex. Well. For those of you who weren't aware, Alex was on our show during the off season. If you haven't seen that episode, it is on our YouTube channel. Please go and check it out. It's a fantastic interview. And Alex was actually in Japan as well when we did record that one. So you can find a little bit more about how he was doing in Japan at that time as well. And Alex is on social media as well. If you want to go and check him out, his links links will be in the description below. Alex, again, thank you for coming back. It was wonderful to see you. It was great that you took the time. We really do appreciate it.
No, thanks a lot, guys. Always enjoy it. And I think I was perhaps one of the only Bucs fans in Japan before, but now I'm back in the UK. I've got strength in numbers. So now great to be on, and hopefully we'll get to another Super Bowl this year.
And of course, something else to just remind everyone as well is that you are, of course, an honorary member of Bucs UK as well, which is wonderful to see. So hopefully we'll have you back on the show again soon, Alex. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
And thank you
a lot,
everyone
guys.
else for listening. Enjoy the bye week. Enjoy the Washington game. And as always, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
We'll just do keys to the game and a player to watch, and then a score prediction, if that's all right, gents.
Yep.
Push the socials.
What?
What?
Push
I
the
don't know.
socials.
Oh, push the socials. Yes, and push the socials. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, spooky.
I didn't get any of that. And push the socials. Yes. Okay. Oh, this could be a bit embarrassing. Let me see how I forget this first time right. Whew!
Nailed it.
Right. Okay. Got it. Bang on. Here we go. Right. Washington. The bye week is here for the Buccaneers, and after that, we are facing the Washington football team. Oh no, where is it? Are we going to Washington, or is it at home?
Washington.
Is it in Washington?
Yeah.
Kieran, I'm copying you now.
It's easily done.
Let's try it again.